And right
Heat, cameras shouting her name from every angle. Selena Gomez moving forward with a calm smile while the room around her feels like chaos. Now contrast that with the faces in the audience. Some stunned, some emotional, some clearly realizing in real time that something historic is happening. And here's the part no one was ready for. There is a third moment from that night. A final piece of evidence that completely changes how this Golden Globe win should be read. We'll get to it in the final minute because once you see it, the entire narrative shifts. The shouting, the flashes, the demand to turn left, then right. Selena pauses, adjusts her posture, brings her shoulders back, and gives the cameras exactly one composed look. Not rushed, not overwhelmed, in control. This wasn't just another red carpet. This was a face-off between past perception and present reality. When the 2026 Golden Globe Awards announced Selena Gomez as the winner for Best Female Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy, the reaction inside the room said everything. The applause wasn't polite, it wasn't restrained, it was loud, immediate, and emotional. This wasn't a good for her moment, this was an acknowledgement, the kind that says the industry has officially caught up to what fans have known for years. Cut from wide shots of the ballroom to close-ups of Selena standing. Watch her face carefully. There's a half second where her eyes widen, then soften. No shock, no disbelief, just a quiet exhale. That body language matters. Because Selena Gomez has spent most of her career being underestimated. She started as a Disney Channel star. The label stuck for years, even as she took riskier roles, even as she stepped into darker material, even as she proved she could hold her own next to veteran actors. The industry was slow to let go of the version of her they were comfortable with. But that night at the Beverly Hilton, that version officially ended. As Selena walked to the stage, the camera panned across the room. You could see peers standing, some smiling wide, some nodding in approval. Others looked genuinely moved. This wasn't about one role. This was about a journey. And when Selena began to speak, she didn't rush, she didn't stumble. Her voice was steady but emotional. She thanked her fans first, not as an obligation, as a recognition. She knows exactly who carried her through the years when critics didn't. Then she thanked her family, her castmates from Only Murders in the Building, Steve Martin, Martin Short, two comedy legends who could have easily overshadowed her. Instead, she became the emotional center of the show. Opinion trigger. Do you think Selena held her own with them or quietly surpassed expectations in a way no one anticipated? Then came the moment that sent the room into a collective pause. She thanked her husband and creative partner, Benny Blanco, called him her creative soulmate, not just her partner in life, but in art. The phrase instantly became headlines, but the real story was in how she said it. Her shoulders relaxed, her smile changed. This wasn't performative, this was grounded. That's important because the win didn't start on that stage. It started years earlier with a role that completely redefined how Selena Gomez was seen. Only Murders in the Building was never meant to be carried by Selena alone. On paper, she was the younger counterpart to two established comedy icons. But episode by episode, something shifted. Her character, Mabel Mora, became the emotional anchor. Dry humor, guarded vulnerability, a past that felt heavy without being melodramatic. Selena didn't play Mabel as a trope, she played her as a person. Watch her performance closely. She uses stillness, silence, minimal expressions. She lets moments breathe. That restraint is hard, especially in comedy, especially next to performers known for big personalities. Pattern interrupt. Switch from bright sitcom clips to quiet, emotionally heavy scenes of Mabel alone in her apartment. Those scenes are why this award mattered. Critics praised the subtlety, the honesty, the way Selena grounded the chaos of the show in something real. Only Murders wasn't just a parody, it was about loneliness, about connection, about grief and curiosity and found family. And Selena's performance made that resonate across generations. This wasn't a fluke, it was earned. And yet, even with critical acclaim, there was skepticism. Old narratives die hard. So when Selena's name was called at the Golden Globes, it felt like a final answer. Now let's talk about the hidden details people missed. During the announcement, cameras briefly caught Selena before she stood. Her hands were folded, her breathing was slow. Compare that to earlier award shows where she looked tense, shoulders tight, smile fixed. This time, she looked settled. Opinion trigger. Was that confidence or peace? Because that distinction matters. Selena's evolution hasn't just been professional, it's been personal, and that's where the fan investigation really began. Fans immediately went back through footage, old interviews, past red carpets, comparing body language, comparing tone, comparing how she speaks about her work now versus 5 years ago. What they noticed was consistency. She no longer over-explains. She no longer apologizes for taking up space. She doesn't minimize her success. And a lot of that change seems to align with one major shift in her life, her partnership with Benny Blanco. Their relationship didn't explode onto the scene with spectacle. It grew quietly, built on collaboration, mutual respect, music. Their wedding in 2025 was intentionally low-key. No massive spectacle, no overexposure. That alone set them apart in a culture obsessed with viral moments. Together, they've created music that feels different from Selena's earlier eras, more confident, more vulnerable, less concerned with fitting a mold. Songs that talk about healing, resilience, and intimacy without trying to chase trends. Critics noticed it, fans felt it, and the Golden Globe win feels connected to that stability. Not because Benny made Selena successful, but because she finally seemed supported enough to fully be herself. Now here's where the third, final piece comes in, the detail most people overlooked. After the ceremony, Selena gave interviews backstage, and when asked about what this win meant, she didn't talk about proving people wrong. She didn't talk about validation. She talked about freedom. The freedom to choose roles that scare her, the freedom to say no, the freedom to tell stories that matter to her, not just ones that make sense on paper. That mindset is the real win, because trophies fade, careers built on authenticity don't. So what happens next? Will Selena move deeper into dramatic roles? Will she produce or direct? Will her music continue evolving alongside her acting career? And how will her partnership with Benny shape the next chapter creatively? If this moment tells us anything, it's that Selena Gomez is no longer reacting to the industry. She's leading herself. And in our next Celeb Juices video, we're diving into how Selena's Golden Globe win quietly changed the power dynamics in Hollywood, and why several A-listers may now be rethinking how they underestimated her for years. Because this wasn't just a win, it was a turning point.